There is an old timeless teaching from the Bible. A wise man built his house on rock. A foolish man built his house on sand. The rain came, the floods rose, the winds beat on both houses. The house on rock stood, the house on sand fell, and great was the fall. The lesson is simple. If the foundation is weak, the whole house is fragile. But here's the deeper layer we forget, which is that storms are not accidents. They are part of the rhythm of life. Even Jeshua's teaching is about a spiritual foundation that can ride the cycle of up and down without breaking. Now let us tell you the same story as we have seen it across 3 different houses through time. The first house was our parents' house, those whose parents bought homes in the 70s and 80s. The house was steady and plain. One job could last a lifetime. A pension was part of the deal. A modest home could be paid off in 15 years. When storms came, the house shook, but it held. The rock was built into the world they lived in. It was a gift of their time that we do not have today. Their rock wasn't just money, it was breathing room, slower pace, shared meals, Sabbaths, neighbors who knew your name. The second house is the one many of us built. It is beautiful on the outside, with the right zip code, the right schools, and the right cars. But the foundation is not the same. It rests on 2 incomes that must never stop. Rising costs that never slow down. Debt that must be carried month after month, year after year. It looks like rock from the outside, but it often feels like sand underneath your feet. A market dip, a lost client, or a doctor saying we need to talk creates a knot in your stomach that will not go away. You make more money than your parents ever dreamed of, but you feel less secure than they ever did. Here's the painful truth. A life built on constant acceleration has no time for repair. If there's no time for the gym, for family dinners, or for true rest, the cracks aren't future, they're present. The third house is the one you are building right now. You know the truth in your gut. The old rock is not handed to you anymore. The world has changed. If you want a house that stands, you must build a new kind of foundation on purpose. But here is what no one tells you about building this third house. What makes many modern houses feel like sand isn't income, it's pace. They're built on constant acceleration. No breathing room, very thin presence at home, and no true rest. When those are missing, even small wins feel like hurricanes. The houses that hold today aren't propped up by titles or speed. They're anchored by things you can't fake, balance, presence, and a life that moves in rhythm with the seasons. Not as a hack, but because the cycle will swing again. But let's look at the type of rock most people stand on today. To get where you are, you gave up more than money. You missed family dinners, you worked through vacations, you checked emails during school plays. Some of you have not had a real date night in years. You told yourself it was only for a while. You told yourself you were building something no storm could move. But when the storm comes, and it always comes, it is not the title or the bonus that holds you up. It is the people at your table. If they're distant or tired of waiting for you to come home, the fall feels even harder. And when your body is depleted, even small wins feel like hurricanes. Building on exhaustion is like building on sand. Whereas building with breathing room is like building on rock. Rest, presence, and the people at your table are what hold the house together. Here is the hard truth that keeps you awake at night. Success without a solid foundation increases fear, not security. You make more, but you also risk more. You run faster, but you feel less safe. You put off that knot in your stomach because you think the answer is one more push, one more promotion, one more deal. Then one night the phone rings, or the market turns, or a contract breaks, or a doctor says those words, and suddenly you see the sand shifting under your feet. These storms are not punishment. They are part of universal rhythm. The pendulum swings. The lesson is balance, not more force, which is what the hustlers of today are doing. Here is the hopeful truth that can change everything. You can build rock under the house you already have. You do not need to burn it down and start over. You do not need to work more hours or make more money. You need a clear look at the weak spots in your foundation. These are all the cracks that have been building up while you grind through each waking hour. Through clarity, You might make shifts and give focus to those things that cannot be frozen by a bank, taken by a court, or lost in a market crash. Yes, these monetary possessions go through cycles of losses. What we all need is being present, present to your family, to your children, to your body. It's practices that honor cycles, work and rest, doing and being, advance and retreat. If you feel that knot in your stomach, do not ignore it. That knot is your wisdom speaking. Take the 3-minute money storm snapshot. You'll see where your foundation is strong and where cracks are forming.